August 24th, 79 AD, a day that started like any other, but never ended the same way. Imagine this. You're at home. The sun is shining. You hear children laughing in the streets. Markets are bustling. Everything feels normal. But in just a few hours, everything changes. Forever. This is the story of Pompeii, a city so prosperous, so alive, that no one could imagine it would be erased from existence in less than a day. Today, we're going to witness how 20,000 people faced the unimaginable, how their last moments were frozen in time, and how, after 1,700 years, they returned to tell us their story. Pompeii wasn't just another Roman town. It was a jewel of the empire, nestled near the bay, protected by hills blessed with fertile land. The streets were lined with shops selling everything: spices from Africa, fabrics from Egypt, wine from local vineyards. Wealthy families lived in stunning villas with private gardens and fountains. Even common people had work, food, and purpose. The city had public baths with heated pools, theaters for entertainment, and temples honoring the gods. But towering over everything was the mountain, Vesuvius. Green, peaceful, familiar. For generations, it gave the people everything: rich soil for grapes, shade in summer, a beautiful view every morning. Here's the shocking truth. The people of Pompeii didn't know Vesuvius was a volcano. They had never seen it erupt. There was no word in their language for volcano. To them, it was just a mountain, a generous one. But beneath that green surface, something ancient was waking up. 17 years before the disaster in 62 AD, a massive earthquake struck the region. Buildings collapsed, temples cracked, water supplies were damaged. The ground literally opened up in places. But did people leave? No. They rebuilt. They repaired their homes. They convinced themselves it was just bad luck. In the months before that fateful August, strange things started happening again. Wells dried up without explanation. Animals behaved oddly. Dogs barked at nothing. Horses refused to move. Birds flew away in large groups. Small tremors rattled windows at night. Some elderly people remembered the old earthquake. They whispered warnings, but most people ignored them. After all, Pompeii was strong. It was civilization. It was Rome. And Rome doesn't fall because of a few tremors, right? The day everything changed. The morning of August 24th seemed perfect. Bakeries were preparing bread. Merchants were setting up their stalls. Families were eating breakfast. Some people were arguing about politics. Others were gossiping about their neighbors. Just a normal day. Then, around 1 p.m., it happened. A sound. Not just loud, but primal. Like the earth itself was screaming. Vesuvius exploded. From its peak, a massive column of ash and rock shot upward. It climbed 15 miles into the sky. Higher than any building, higher than imagination. Within minutes, the blue sky turned gray, then brown, then black. The sun disappeared behind a curtain of ash, and then the stones began to fall. At first, they were small, like pebbles. People covered their heads and ran for shelter, but the pumice kept falling and growing larger. Every minute, thousands of stones rained down. Light gray rocks that bounced off roofs, shattered pottery, injured anyone caught outside. The streets became rivers of rolling stone. Roofs began to collapse under the weight. Some homes couldn't handle it. The wooden beams cracked and entire structures caved in, trapping people inside. Panic spread like fire. Where do you run when death falls from the sky? Some fled toward the sea, hoping to escape by boat. But the waves were violent, the ash was everywhere, and the darkness made navigation impossible. Others rushed to temples, praying to Jupiter, to Apollo, to any god who would listen. They begged for mercy, for protection, for an explanation. But the gods were silent, and Vesuvius kept roaring. Hours passed. The pumice layer grew thicker, 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet deep. The city was being buried alive. People huddled in their homes, wet cloths over their faces, trying to breathe through the choking ash. Families held each other. Slaves stayed with their masters. Strangers comforted strangers. Some still believed it would stop, that the mountain would calm down. that tomorrow would come, but tomorrow never came. Around midnight, almost 12 hours after the eruption began, Vesuvius unleashed its true power, a pyroclastic surge. Imagine a wall of superheated gas, ash, and rock fragments racing down the mountain at 450 miles per hour. The temperature, over 750 degrees Fahrenheit. Nothing could survive it. Nothing could outrun it. It reached Pompeii in seconds. The people who were still alive, huddled in their homes, hiding in cellars, clinging to hope, had no time to react. The heat was so intense that it killed instantly. Muscles contracted violently. Bodies froze in their final positions. A mother shielding her child. A man covering his face. A family holding hands. Death came so fast that there was no time to feel pain. Just an ending. The surge didn't just kill, it preserved. The ash and debris that followed covered everything, like a blanket, a tomb. Every street, every building, every body was sealed beneath layers of volcanic material. By sunrise on August 25th, Pompeii no longer existed above ground. It was buried under 20 feet of ash and stone. The rooftops were gone, the temples invisible, the streets erased. An entire city vanished overnight. The survivors, those who had fled early, never returned. They told stories of the day the sky went dark, the mountain that ate a city, the gods' fury unleashed. But many people didn't believe them. Pompeii's name faded from maps, from memory, from history. Centuries passed. The Roman Empire fell. New kingdoms rose and fell. Christianity spread across Europe. The Renaissance came and went. And all that time, Pompeii slept. Farmers unknowingly planted crops over ancient homes. Villagers built new houses on top of buried villas. It wasn't until 1748, almost 1,700 years later, that workers digging a canal discovered something strange. Walls with paintings, floors with mosaics. As archaeologists excavated, they found something extraordinary. The ash had created hollow spaces in the exact shape of the bodies that had decomposed. One archaeologist had a brilliant idea. Pour plaster into these voids. What emerged were not just shapes, but people. You can see their faces, their expressions, their final moments. A young girl curled in a corner, hands over her ears. A dog still chained, trying desperately to break free. Two adults embracing, facing death together. These aren't just artifacts, they're witnesses. They're proof that these were real people with real lives, real fears, real love. Pompeii shows us something unique, how people lived their ordinary lives 2,000 years ago, what they ate, how they decorated their homes, what jokes they wrote on walls, what they worried about. But it also shows us something universal, that life is fragile, that everything can change in a heartbeat, that we should never take tomorrow for granted.